Hey everyone at the Gallian Liberation Front, welcome for another podcast. This week we got something special. My name is JR.
Oh, and my name is Eximius, and we have a new guest today. If anyone that plays Valkryia Chronicles and pretty much knows anyone in the series, they know this guy. He's known as Lebowski1 on GameFAQs, and he has a YouTube channel, Valcronifications. He does a unleveled walkthrough of the entire VC1 gameplay, and it's quite a feat. I'd like to introduce Chris Mullans to the show. Welcome, Chris. How are you?
Hi there, guys. Yeah, thanks for the intro, and pleasure to be here. I'm pretty good, pretty good. It's good to be here.
Yeah, it's fun we got you here. Hey, we tried to get you
Yeah,
here for the last podcast, and it's pretty exciting. Like everybody, I've been telling a couple of my friends, and they obviously know who you are, and then they're just saying, "Oh, we've got like the three Stooges from GLF here. We've got Chris, we've got me, and we've got Eximius." And I'm like, "This is gonna be a crazy podcast." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it myself."
Oh
Yeah.
well, it's nice to know there's a few people out there watching the vids, but
Yeah, no, it's
yeah,
it's
great.
actually a great time for this podcast. It's like 4 p.m. right now, and I'm quite comfortable. How about you, Jr.?
Yeah, the thing about that is, yeah, it's actually 4 a.m. over here in Australia
Wow,
because we're
really?
4 hours in front.
Oh, mate,
Yeah,
wait. You got up in the morning at 4 in the morning just to do a podcast? Man, I'd never do something like that.
it's a, it's crazy stuff. It is crazy stuff. I usually wake up like what 6 a.m. for our podcast, which is not so bad, but 4 a.m. I actually have no sleep right now. I am surviving basically on nothing, guys. So
Well,
that's how
that's
much
commitment.
Coffee,
my dedication is.
coffee will always help.
That's the level of commitment we're talking about here. Commitment to the cause. Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it's
Well,
10 to 9 here in the evening, so I'm not too bad.
oh,
Yeah,
that's
Yeah,
good.
what time is it over there in the UK exactly?
yeah,
Yeah,
10 to 9. It's
10 till
coming up to
9.
9 p.m. So, but it shows how international the interest in this game is really. So many corners of the globe all calling for the same thing. So it's good.
Yeah, I know. Like I've even gotten emails from people in France and Italy saying, "Yeah, we're gonna join you." Like we're the soldiers from France. So yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
Gallian, the
It,
goals. Yeah,
Yeah, it's quite amazing to have such a international support. It just goes to show that Valkyria Chronicles as a series has a very dedicated fan base, and we will do anything.
Yep,
within reason.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Anything.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
although we have to address it again, international calls between me and American Chris, who's all the way in London, and JR in Australia. There's gonna be like a couple of delays.
Yeah,
It'll
I'm
sound like we're interrupting each other.
I'm pretty new to Skype as well, but I'm doing my best here. I got my headset and yeah, ready to go with it. Definitely.
yeah, you're
Right.
sounding fine. You're sounding fine.
S-
Ugh.
Right.
Good,
So,
good.
first thing to address that we all know about the news about, it's all hope is not lost. We've heard it from Aaron Weber himself, who's the Sega PR. Chris, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, yes, it's very, very encouraging. I would compare it to the time I was at the MCM Expo in London, and I met a Sega rep there during the promotion for Bayonetta, and his awareness of VC was pretty low. I think he may have heard of it, but he didn't really know much about the game. And to see now, somebody from Sega giving us a message like that is very heartening. I know there's a lot of skepticism on the forum, as usual on the internet, but got to keep your chin up and take this as the positive that it is. Really, it's good to
Yeah,
hear that.
it's kind of surprising to hear a Sega representative actually not know anything about VC. I thought it would at least be known internally, but this is kind of strange.
Yeah, I was just I went up to him and just mentioned the game like as I do, and yeah, this was before the sequels or anything, so I don't know why he didn't know that, but it's the things are getting better now, and in no small part because of the work you guys have done. It's great to get some official recognition.
Yeah, we were actually going around pretty much spreading the word, making sure everybody knows us, and so far it's been going very very well. We're getting a lot of support. Just now, we've just passed 2,600 on the petition, which is amazing. So it goes to show that there's quite a bit of support for this cause.
Yeah,
getting some good numbers together now. JR, sorry man, go ahead.
yeah. No, it's all good. I was just gonna add. Yeah, we have been actually getting a lot of support. Actually, some old sites that I thought initially supported us, but thought we were a lost cause, so they decided to. Well, this is not me making accusations, but I thought they kind of like ditched us at the end. I was actually quite mistaken because recently one of our supporters, known as a group called PlayStation Show, just check their site out. Really awesome site. They actually have, like DualShockers, an official banner right on their page supporting our group, and that's just awesome. And I even I'm gonna announce this. I actually got an interview. I requested interview from one of the guys at DualShockers. You might know him as Fire Vader. He does like audio podcasts, and he requested, "Oh, did you want to do an interview over Skype?" I was like, "Yeah, why not? That'd be absolutely awesome to help promote the group." And yeah, he
Good
totally
stuff.
agreed. We got set up. Yeah,
I
go on,
feel
Chris.
like gained some ground, captured a camp. Now we just need to keep pushing on, deploying, and the battle will hopefully swing our way fully. I mean, it's not 100%. Who was he? He was a PR guy, right? He was.
Oh yeah. The fact is, PR guy. He basically said, there's hope. So that's basically Sega saying that, you know what, keep fighting for the cause. It'll eventually come as long as you show interest in the series and you keep on doing it. And so, we just got to continue what we're doing, and eventually we'll get the game. I'm pretty sure about that.
Yeah, I've already
Yeah.
played the demo, and just can't wait. Can't wait to see the whole thing. I've been holding off, waiting for the localization, and I still believe. Yeah, I believe it will happen.
So
Yeah, I think it'll eventually happen. Yeah.
yeah, it'll happen eventually. It's just a matter of time. So Chris, tell me about any of the new projects you've been doing. I know you're a big VC video maker, so any future
That's right.
projects?
Well, yeah, got a few videos coming up. Going to do a VC3 demo video next. Cause,
Oh, that sounds great. I know there's gonna be a lot of use of Rela in the last one in that video. Will there be?
yeah, it's a one turn for both the stages with killing Dahal in the second mission.
Ah, great.
It's
Well,
kind of
that's awesome.
similar to a couple of systems out there already on YouTube, but I just tweaked a couple of things to make them work a little better. So, yeah, looking forward to doing that one.
Well, that's awesome. Well, we obviously can't wait, and yeah, we're just really excited. And for anybody else who doesn't know Chris on YouTube, just check him out, like at his page, Valchronification. There will be a link in the description below. And yeah, despite the fact that he does some awesome VC runs, we just absolutely love his commentary. We just can't get enough of it, guys. It's absolutely
it's
great.
genuine British humor. We love that.
Oh, guys, yeah, thanks. I mean, it's just basically me playing the stages over and over, and the commentary kind of develops along with the tactics. You just get saying the same things and refine them, and yeah, it turns out okay in the end. I mean, the production quality is a bit low because I just put a camera on a tripod in front of the TV, but I have a lot of fun, and it's good to know people are enjoying them. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
we'll point them out. Don't worry. And we'll I think you'll generate a lot more views on your channel after this podcast. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
that'd be great. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, well, we're happy to support you as you support us as well. And yeah, you got a great YouTube channel. We absolutely love it. Hey.
Well,
And
I'll keep making the vids. I've got more ideas, all the VC games, and the sooner I get hold of a localized version of VC3, I can really tear into that as well. So.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know that you do a lot of rap music, and you're thinking of doing a VC rap. How's that coming along? Because I know that you put a preview on YouTube, and it actually sounded pretty good. So, what's that all
That's
about?
right. Yeah. Well, I feel like it could be more of a contribution with this whole thing with the campaign going on. If because a lot of games have like a rap made in their honor now. You got Final Fantasy and all the big franchises. A lot of sort of nerdcore raps out there, and just wanted to do something similar with VC, and it's got such beautiful music.
Yeah, well, we can't wait. Hey, we can't wait to hear that. I actually did not know until I actually looked on your Facebook page that you were a rapper. I was like, "Wow, this is very interesting." And then Eximius like linked me to some of your like recordings, and I was like, "Wow, this is pretty good." So yeah, can't wait for your VC rap.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, a lot of work
I
to be done on it yet, but yeah.
Especially with the kind of rap you do, it's not exactly the stereotype rap that you hear in America. It's like poetry in motion with music. It's actually the kind of rap that I can appreciate.
Agreed with that.
Thanks, guys. I just feel like I love rap, but I kind of hate rappers.
Exactly.
Kind of rap's got to grow up a bit, and with the VC thing, I just want to get the balance right. Like I want to do sort of war poetry narrative, telling the story of EW2, and with lots of sound samples from the game mixed into that. So hopefully it will come out, a successful kind of art project. So yeah, it'll take a little while yet though, very early stages, but it will be finished. Yeah.
I bet that you could create a rap around Catherine in the sniper in VC1. I think that'd be pretty good. I can imagine her lyrics being "I'm not done yet" over and over again in a rap song. That'd be great.
You could do some kind of techno remix, yeah. But yeah, she will definitely feature. I'm not done yet.
That should be the title of the song. I'm not done yet. That'd be wonderful.
If you just put "I'm not done yet," then everyone knows who she is.
Yeah.
So what else is new, guys? Anything else that's been going on lately for you guys?
Me, nothing much. Just keeping a lot on track because like I want to personally thank the guys at the Valkryia Chronicles fan page again. Like I just made a post about like with the good news coming out, everyone's like being energized and stuff like that. I made a recent tweet about the renewed faith in everybody and the renewed hope, and like channeling that energy for our upcoming mission, which is actually really really close. I think it's 4 days from now. I think it is.
Yeah, it's about 4 days.
It's about 4 days from now, guys, and yeah, that will be the start of our main campaign mission. And like the admins who are using their Twitter, they basically copied and pasted my comment and just shared it with over 200 people, and I was like, wow, that's absolutely nuts. I did not know that was happening. But yeah, I mean that's great. I like to see a lot. It's great to see support from the community. Like people outside the GLF just supporting us because they're all of Valkryia Chronicles fans. I mean that's just absolutely great.
Yeah, this renewed faith is going to be very important. We needed just that because our mission is coming up, and there's all sorts of energy being stored up in the group, and all that energy could be put to good use in the mailing campaign that's coming up, which is Mission 5 Operation Iron Veil, and those details are going to be put up very very soon. So I want you guys to be ready for this.
Mark that day down. Mark it down, guys. It's going to be an epic day.
Keep the faith. That's the important thing. I remember people were saying about the Street Fighter franchise when I was in that scene. They were like, "It'll never happen. It's dead." But it came back, and look at it now. And VC can go from strength to strength too. So it's keep the faith, definitely.
Absolutely, and yeah. So we have a couple of questions from some of the members of the GLF that were posted in YouTube, as well as in the actual Facebook fan page itself. So we can begin answering some of the questions. So
yeah, I think that'd be great. I mean, like guys, just share your opinions about this, and we hope you like what we come up with. Like these are like opinions on what you can do for the GLF. They're also questions revolving around VC, just opinion. And yeah, we hope you enjoy it. So yeah, I think we should get started. Hey.
All right. So and just to let everyone know that when we answer the questions, it's strictly our opinion. We're not actually saying what Sega should do. It's strictly what we think could happen. So we don't want any flame war starting with this. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, guys. Right. Respect everyone's opinion, guys. Respect everyone's opinion.
Yeah, all right. So let's see. The first question is this: what can GLF members do outside of missions other than promote the group? How do we stay active? And JR?
Well, me personally, as a GLF member, not just the admin, but as also a soldier itself, besides out doing missions, like creating missions for you guys, like doing my podcast and stuff like that, obviously you guys don't have to deal with that kind of situation. Other than that, I just get to be really active with the community, get to know my community, get to know the people inside it, participate on the forums and get intimate, make questions, just to generate just a really really good mood in the community besides spreading the word, because I know people said like besides spreading the word, what can you do on the GLF? I'm like, just be active with the community. Like it's another way to show Sega your commitment. Be active on the forums that are already like dead, like people consider it dead. I even consider it dead. Like I'm rejuvenated, start again, like post, like talk with people about Valkryia Chronicles, and just be active. That's all I can say.
Anything VC related, really, like fan arts and And of course, I'd love to see more videos made and posted, and just to show that people, are still playing even VC1 to this day, and just to show the level of interest and depth of the game. It'd be
Yep.
great to see more vids. I know Liam from the who posts on the GLF recently did a vid, and he did a great job. And yourself, Eximius. So
Absolutely. Thank you.
yeah, no, it's terrific system that actually for that map. That's good stuff. But yeah, just more vids, I'd say.
Absolutely. On my part, I think the best thing to do is to basically, like you guys said, show activity on both Sega forums, in the Valkyrien Chronicles sections, and the Gallian Liberation Front Facebook page. Tell us your stories about playing the game. Share any kind of VC-related fan artwork. It's a very positive community. Anytime a new member joins the group, we try to make them feel as welcome as possible. We love to show our respect towards the series and anyone who caters to their wants and desires of VC3. Because the GLF is all about constructiveness and positive support. So, the bottom line, be active within the community and show Sega that the VC fan base isn't silent. If Sega sees us in a very positive light, but active, they might make the decision to cater to the fan base and release VC3.
Exactly, guys. Yeah, go on, Chris. Sorry.
No, just saying, can only hope so. You just got to do what you can, and the rest is up to Sega. So, yeah.
Yeah, guys. Like I said, just be active. Oh yeah, and if new people join up, right? If you see a soldier yourself and he just comes up and posts like, "Yeah, I'm like the 1,234 soldier to join in," and like we're ready for action, guys. Give them a big warm welcome. These people take time out to participate like you for the same goal and reason. Just like me and Eximius, like we always say, "Welcome to the GLF." Like we're glad to have you on board, guys. We ask that you do the same as well. Be encouraging to these people that come and take out time because they're fighting the same battle as you. So yeah,
absolutely. We'll keep that morale meter picking up each turn. Just welcome people.
Don't let that morale meter fall below 2. That'd be a bad thing.
Yeah, guys, at maximum at 5.
That's it.
So let's see. Well, we got a second question. It says over here, would it be beneficial for fans to purchase other VC items that have been brought to the US, such as the VC1 Design Archive and future VC2 World artworks, like the art books or figures or anything like that?
Oh, well, I mean, it falls under the category of anything Valkyrien Chronicles related, so it couldn't hurt. Are these official Sega merchandise? I suppose they would be. Yeah.
Well, it would be something similar to like, if for example, Sega owns pretty much all the images when it comes to Valkyrien Chronicles. So if you have like an art book that's being produced, it's pretty much a given that these companies that are printing out these art books are paying royalties to Sega. So I think it's a very, very good indirect way of supporting the series.
But do be careful. It does actually remind me. I made one purchase on eBay, which was a wall scroll for Valkyrien Chronicles, but it was very cheap. And when it arrived, it was just awful. It was clearly not official, and I got stung there for sure.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Just on like a sheet of this kind of horrible plastic. It didn't even scan properly. It just looked awful. But as long as you purchase directly, and I really do want to get the art book. For sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the art book is official. I think because it's pretty much every single artwork that the Sega members did. So I think that's fine. Wall scrolls are a different story because they are third-party produced. So I'm not exactly sure if it can be official.
Well,
yeah, I don't think they are official.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, guys. Don't wallpapers tend to be done by third parties that are like not official to Sega and Valkyrien Chronicles. They're just like fan made stuff. So if you do buy again, like be sure like you're buying something at least decent. But in terms of the art books, I would actually highly recommend everybody buy it. It's not just an art book, it's a massive encyclopedia. Like I go through this art book every time I'm finding inspiration. Like I got a friend who's actually working with me right now to try and create some artwork on how the Gallian Liberation Front would actually look like as a militia, and we're just scanning through the ideas. And it's really interesting because they put a lot of facts into there. So you're getting early concepts about the tanks, like the weaponry. They go into so much detail. I think one of my favorite parts is I actually talked with this about Eximius a lot. Like if you look at the back of the art book for VC1, I won't make major spoilers, but there was actually a significant game change of what the game could have been, and it was actually quite significant to like the changes made now. Actually,
Oh,
like,
really? What's
Yeah, what was it again? I completely forgot. Cause
oh
cause
yeah,
I was
how do you say in terms of Valkyria Chronicles itself, actually, if you look at the design work from the original concept, it was actually leaning more to a more fantasy rather than
Oh
more
yeah,
realistic.
that's right, that's right. Yeah, and I remember. You actually
ah,
said that if you looked at the back of the art book, it wasn't actually going to be a military war setting. It was actually going to be a fantasy war setting.
Yeah, it was gonna be a fantasy war setting. I mean, like the imperial armor and the weaponry looked so much different. They even had like before they decided to use Darksons as another race, like to use in the game. They actually utilized fantasy creatures like especially Isara. Um,
Yeah,
she actually was
an
half
elf, I think.
animal in the concept.
What was she an elf?
sorry.
She was an elf in the artwork, right?
Yeah, not an elf. She had like she's one of those furry creatures that you see in anime, like they're half furries and half. You know what I'm talking about,
This
right?
is
Wow.
They have the
news
cat
to
ears and
me,
stuff like
man.
that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I
Yeah,
know.
I completely forgot about that, but now I just got reminded. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Isar was going to be a hybrid furry. That's pretty funny.
So what would the classes have been? Was there any artwork of what you
Well,
scouts
Yeah, there
would
was a
be?
lot of artwork. There's a lot of artwork on like they did original concepts for. Welcome actually was one of the characters that didn't actually change too significantly based on his original concept. Like, but if you look at Alicia, Rosie, Isara, she actually had a different name at the time. They had like a
So
lot
no
of
guns, no guns.
differences.
no guns.
No, well,
There
yeah,
was.
they had guns, but how do you say they weren't like more military based? They were more like fantasy based stuff that you see,
So you mean like wands and wands and magic that they were throwing probably?
so more like old style with I can't really explain the weaponry at the time. It's kind of new mixed with old. Like they've kept some of the original stuff from the original concept, like guns and stuff like that. But like the weaponry, like you look at the artistic way they put it, it's more fantasy based weaponry that is like it would still shoot bullets, but at the same time, right? It would hold its own type of character. You wouldn't recognize it as a proper weapon. Like I even remember like some of the soldiers, they were actually you had two or three soldiers carrying one gun just to fire it off, and then they had warhammers and stuff like that, which
Oh,
they probably applied to number two.
so it's like a field cannon almost.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a lot. It's really, really different, and like I absolutely enjoyed like the original concepts. I mean, they were absolutely brilliant, and it
Oh,
was really, really interesting.
you could
Yeah,
certainly do a Blitz engine game using a fantasy setting, and that would be great as well. I mean, I'm glad they took the original direction they did with the alternate Europe. I think it's quite a classy kind of and unique approach. But yeah, it certainly could have worked with a different art direction.
I
But
think they could exactly. I think they could actually do a spin-off from this game, and it could be a completely different setting, but with the same Blitz engine. I think it would work really well.
well, I've
I think I
always
read
said if
recent news. Well,
sorry, man,
yeah,
sorry.
I'll just say it. Yeah,
Go
because
on, I'm terrible
I
at
gotta
this.
keep on just like just wait for someone to talk first. But yeah, as I was saying, I think other game Blitz like are copying the Blitz engine used in Valkyria Chronicles. I mean, I think the new Shining Hearts game. Forgotten by it too. They're actually using a similar concept, except
Yeah.
they don't have guns. They use like melee weapons and stuff.
Okay.
Well, it's
Okay.
interesting.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I played Warhammer 40k Squad Commander, and I'm not sure if that came out where that
Yeah,
came out
yeah,
in
they can.
relation to
Yeah, I
these.
played it as well. I played
Very
it as
similar.
well.
Oh, you have, yeah. Well, isn't Overwatch so similar to Intercept? You set your arc of fire, but you can actually see it in Warhammer 40k. They mark it out with a coloured cone, whereas in
Yeah, yeah,
VC,
they do.
yeah.
So
But I'd certainly, I've always said if the worst case scenario, um, the series didn't go forward, I'd still want to see another franchise or another franchise adopt like a Blitz engine, because it's just such a strong gameplay system. I've never seen anything that's merged real time and turn based like it. So
Yeah,
it can get better and better.
it's actually one of the better ways to actually merge turn based and real time. I've seen RPGs that try to do it, but in this case, it works a little better because of the fact that you have a CP system, which is basically currency for for each unit you want to move. So you have a specific restriction that's actually given to the player. So you have to make much more smart decisions in that regard.
Well, it looks like we're sorry.
Yeah, go on, Chris,
go on.
sorry. No, go
Well, I
on,
was just
Chris.
saying, it looks like we're leading on to the next question. Actually, looks like we've already started answering that one, which is what do you all think about the progression in changes that have gone on from VC1 through to VC3, like character types, weapon types, and vehicle types? Good, bad, questionable.
Well, Chris, I think you're like quite knowledgeable in the area, so why don't you like hit us off like with what
It's my
you think?
favourite question. Yeah, I'd love to talk about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the PSP games adapted to the hardware really well. I like the system, especially with standby and the instant reinforcements, making camps so much more powerful. But the actual question here asks about character types, weapon types, and vehicle types, and the one that would jump out for me is the APC. I think that's a brilliant addition, because one of the great things about the Blitz engine is how dynamic you can be with your movement, given such a huge action bar, which is a multiple CP used on individual units. To add the APC into that mix and have essentially a mobile base just makes your tactics really interesting. And I know the tanks are also very strong in VC2, but I love the APC. I don't know about you guys. What your favourite?
I actually use the APC more than I use tanks. I find
Good man.
tanks are more situational based on online play, or if you're against a squad of like artificial Valkyries, because I find the APC more beneficial, particularly with its flamethrower, its icebreaker ability, and it's more
Yeah, I
AP
always
movement.
flame for sure.
Yeah, flamethrowers for sure. And I think it's quite funny in terms of when you're talking about character types, weapon types, and vehicle types. Oh, the thing that stuns that's great about the VC2 setting is like they take characterization, right? Like if you remember in VC1, each character was its own individual person. They had its own background, it had its own potential, had its own voice. Like everybody looked completely different. And then they stepped it up a little bit and tried to do like interaction with that characters. You get to see their personality more inside the battlefield and outside the battlefield, how the main character interacts with them. Like it's not just written on page, it just like actually showed you, and I reckon that was actually pretty good. And in terms of weapon types, I mean in VC 2, I think they stepped it up a lot. Like they had a lot of like weapon types now. They had like you got the mauls, like the explosive mauls, you've got like swords, you've got different
Automatic
types.
sniper rifles are good.
Yep, love those. Absolutely love
Yep.
automatic rifles, and like yeah, they had gunners as well. Like gunners like
Yep.
with a lot of massive machine gun, good for defending base. I reckon that was they really capitalized on that well. In
Basically,
terms, yeah,
I
go
feel
on.
like, sorry, with those two examples of the heavy gunner and the auto sniper, I feel like it's almost a case of, you know what, the more bullets, the better, the more fun it can be. More potential for multi kills, more power versus crouching enemies and team attacks, and like Eximius, in the video you did, how many shots did your gunner have?
Yeah, that gunner
60
elite.
shots.
No. It was much
Wait
more
for this.
than that. The gunner elite that I had, which was Marion Ziegbahn, she had a gun called the Muspel G5, which alone has about I think 70 shots. But what happened? No, not 70 shots. I think 70 or 80 shots. What happened was I took an Anthem Elite, and some people don't know this, but Anthem Elites do a lot more than just increase defense and increase attack or increase.
They do, guys. They are brilliant.
Well, besides the amount of buffing they do for stats, they also increase the number of shots. So what happened was when I used the Anthem Elite on Marion, her gun, which was the multiple G5, went from 70 to 94 shots. So she could shoot 94 bullets in a straight arc across the entire map, which was so hilarious to look at. And you know what's the best thing? That gun has 230 range, which is pretty damn good for a gunner. And so if you have her in the middle of in the field and you take a scout to her and you sit next to her, she'll provide one of the best assist fires ever because she will actually fire the full 94 shots at this one person. And
Yeah.
even after this enemy is dead, she will continue to shoot for like the next 20 seconds. It's so hilarious.
Yeah, gunners. I mean, I've always been a fan of team attacks because they encourage you to integrate your separate units. You know, the tactics all come together with multiple units overlapping, and gunners, although they're slow, are awesome for team attacks. And yeah. I mean, I know some of the DLC weapons are a bit broken, but you don't have to use them.
No, you don't.
And it's just nice to have the option there. So.
I don't.
I just want to make a point that heavy gunners aren't actually a very good unit. They have very, very bad accuracy. I mean, if you ever seen some of the enemy heavy gunners in the game in VC2, they almost never hit you. They never do.
Yeah.
And so, in addition to having really bad accuracy, they have horrible AP. They can barely go across a little further than a sniper does. And with gunner elites, they actually have very good AP. Actually, they have AP that almost rival a commando, which is very, very good.
Yeah, that was something I was doing wrong.
Well,
yeah, sorry, Jay,
because
of
me,
ahead,
I used. We're gonna keep continuing this, but I'm actually enjoying this how it's going.
Difficult.
But yeah, anyway, going back to gunner elites, I actually prefer them over heavy gunners because not only do they have better AP, some of their weaponry tends to be long range, like really long range. So it's really, really good for base defense. Like heavy gunners tend to have more ammunition and a bit more power, but in the trade-off, like for much further distance of fire and like quick succession of bullets, I think you can I think the compensation is pretty good. But like I said, the AP isn't that great. Like when these guys fire, like as a personal, they fire in an arc like you do with a flamethrower, only it's less accurate, guys. So you really they're only best suited for team attacks and base defense, which is what they like.
They would really be better off just firing in a straight line during your own move, definitely. But it gives them a bit of personality that you have to specialize them for team attacks and for intercepts. It gives them that bit of personality there. So yeah, I know they added new classes, fencers and the mauls, and I do enjoy them. But my favourite additions in VC2 and VC3 having the same basic
class system.
roster of classes. I like the shock trooper variants of the gunner, as you say, and the sniper for sure. Just checking, the APC is in Valkryia Chronicles 3, right?
Yes, there is an APC if I remember correctly in VC3.
Yes, there is. It's actually also much more durable. The one thing I didn't like about the APC in VC2, as good as a vehicle it is, it's very, very good. It's incredibly weak to mines. Even if you step on anti-personal mines in VC2, it'll do a ton of damage.
And to intercept, but I quite liked that. I liked having a vehicle that's kind of a little vulnerable. You can even take damage from being hit from the side.
Yeah.
When you're in APC, I mean, gunners will kill it quick.
Yeah.
So your movement has to be more planned out with approaching head on, and you've got to be a little more careful with it. And I mean, you're getting it for 1 CP, so it's still good value.
I think the good thing about the APC is like there's a lot of variance in terms of different armor. Although there's a reduction in like terms of AP, I think it's easy. Like for me, in terms of APCs, I often use them a lot, and I often use the ones that have a little bit more heavier armor in exchange for a little bit less more AP. But they have like ice break abilities, so you can go through ice. They're not affected by terrain. And I think like the trade-off is pretty good, and they look absolutely stunning.
Oh, with the armor, I've never tried that. I probably, I don't know. I personally go with the lighter armor, but again, you can tailor make your squad to a higher degree than in the original. You can really.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Well, all that
And
actually changes in VC3. Once you get to VC3, the APCs have increased armor. In fact, they actually can take quite a number of tank shots. I've seen my APC be able to take up to maybe 4 or 5 tank shots right in the
Mm.
front, and
wow,
that even takes into account escort APCs, which have an enormous amount of HP. I think about 900, close to 1,000, and they can take tank shots and even mines quite easily, like a champ. And they've also done an improvement in VC3, where in VC2, if you looked at the escort APC, the only weapon that you can use on that APC was a Gatling that fired maybe 7 to 10 shots,
Yeah.
and it wasn't very accurate, and it almost didn't kill anything, not even like low level scouts. But the APC in VC3, the escort APC, has a 30-shot Gatling, which is gonna it helps a lot. It also helped in increasing its damage, so it could even kill high level Calamity Raven Lancers
wow,
who have a tendency to have like 6 to 700 HP, which is no joke.
that is no joke.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, the tanks are all 1 CP now.
Yeah.
So I feel like that could be questionable if, like in the original, if you had an APC that was 1 CP, that would be unbalanced, and even having the tanks 1 CP would be unbalanced. But I think the fact that you're operating over so many different maps in VC2 means that your tank can't be everywhere. So or your APC, you have to put it somewhere. You'll still be operating on other fronts. So the fact that it's 1 CP, it's balanced, and you can't place it in all maps anyway. And
Yeah, the thing is, with VC3, you mentioned CP cost, and the CP cost in VC3 for all mobilized units is 1, and they try to balance that reduced CP cost by actually taking away the infinite ammunition, the tank ammunition, for tanks. So now they're restricted to maybe 3 shots per tank, which is, I'm guessing, their
right.
way to trying to balance the thing. And
Yeah, that would have prevented the sniper tank abuse in VC2,
yeah,
where you've
yeah.
got that tank that can literally just fire a perfect shot every time, and you can clear maps with it. Apparently, I haven't used it
Oh
yet.
yeah, like when it was a GRA mod, I think it was like a rebellion weapon that you got, and it had like
Yeah,
absolutely point on precision,
Yeah,
was very powerful. Yeah.
yeah, that
yeah,
once you get that gun, it pretty much reduced the difficulty of the game. It was actually a captured anti-tank gun that you get early on with like 1,200 anti-armor damage, and that was
Yeah.
pretty early on. I think you get that gun in like February, so
Yeah, you did.
it pretty much made most missions pretty easy. Even if you had like incredibly difficult enemies to kill, even if it was infantry, it would take them out in one hit.
so that's good that they've limited that ammo. It means again you'll have engineers still reload, right?
Yes, they
Yep,
still
they
do.
do. They do.
Yeah,
You use
yeah.
them
So
more often now.
you still need to be using them. Yeah, that's good, because they took a bit of a nerf in VC2, and they were never top tier in VC1, so that was a bit questionable. I feel like the armor tech class took too many things away from the engineers, and you might as well have left the engineers with those things, because they were never up there. I mean, snipers got a good boost with auto sniper rifles, but engineers took a hit. So if tanks have limited ammo, engineers should come back into the picture a bit more. So that's good to hear that.
Well, I think the engineers in VC2 weren't nerfed that much. The only thing they took away was the ability to disarm mines. That was it. That ability
They
went.
lost their grenades, man. They used to have 3 grenades. They have no
Oh yeah,
grenades
that
at all.
too. Yes, that too as well. Yeah, they used to have grenades too, but
That makes them
what they
like
did
their
do have.
demolition skills were taken away. Sorry, man. Your turn. I'm terrible at this. Go ahead.
No, that's all right. It's all right.
I'm enjoying this.
No, but what happened was now they have a split class system. Now you have engineer elites as well as medics. I think medics do a better job as an engineer because they can actually heal people from across the map, especially with Cosette who has max aid range, and they also still have the ability to repair tanks. So they've become pretty much a healer class, which I think is still useful,
Yeah,
especially when you're
because
going into high level missions. The only thing that they lost that I actually really did care about was their ability to take away mines, as well as the grenades. So yeah, those two
It's
were
I'd
trade-offs.
say healers. Yeah, I know what you mean. If you're playing a stage blind, or but I'd say if like for my videos where I've played it a lot of times, and I know the stage inside out, and I'm really looking to record something that's, what I consider top level. I wouldn't want to take healers in, because I wouldn't be taking the damage in the first place. So it was nice to have engineers have those grenades. I do miss that, but that's only it's a very small thing. I mean, I'm sure in 3 they'll be back, and they can still rebuild sandbags, right?
No, actually they can. That responsibility goes to the special attacks now.
Yeah. See, just little things like that might as well have stayed, but hey,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think like in figures like a lot of characters like especially like medics, right? And then things were underestimated like especially but they were really useful in terms of like I like to play online play a lot as a co-op, but also versing another person as
okay.
well. I used to play them a lot, right? And then it's funny because a lot of the things that people actually don't use become very very useful. Like for instance, I'll give you an example. With one of the special I figure it's Tech Elite or I think it's a Tech Elite that comes with flash grenades. Now normally you wouldn't use these in battle like during the main campaign, but what flash grenades actually do, they nullify when you fire them at a group, they actually nullify what like the crossfire damage, like the intercept fire. So basically the grenade actually nullifies the whole thing. And so usually when people are like they're fortifying a cat with like their gunner leads. You send your tech in there, right? And he chucks like he takes the risk of getting all these damage because it's usually heavy fortified. But the flash grenade becomes so effective because they're nullified for like a turn until their turn comes up, and so you can send in your other people to like overtake the base as well. And I think medics, right, specifically because they can heal from 0 HP. Like they can revive someone from 0 HP,
Right.
and the fact that that becomes very very useful in online play because usually if you're smart about using your characters, you usually rush over and try to like take out the finishing shot. That's why you always got to get a medic so they can somewhat revive them to a certain extent, right? So they can like hold their own. But yeah.
Well, Eximius and I actually earlier on tried to arrange an online
And
game
it failed.
between us. It did, yeah, it failed bad.
Yeah, it turns out that we actually had to use ad hoc for the PlayStation Portable, and we had to use a wired connection to the internet. But the thing is, both of our PlayStation 3s are connected to the internet via wireless already, so it wouldn't work too well. Actually, it
What
wouldn't
kind
work
of
at all.
setup do you have, JR? How did you get it
Huh?
going?
How did I get
Kind of
it
setup.
going? Well, I didn't actually know you had to do that. Like in terms of situation, I actually played like I used wireless connection. So I play using like with ad hoc with friends, but I also play using wireless because a lot of my friends actually have VC2, so we like always challenging each other, always putting the restrictions of like no DLC weapons because that's
Oh,
obviously
no.
yeah rip off. But like when you're playing online people, right? Yeah, I usually use a because I have a PSP Go, so I don't use UMDs. I can't use UMDs, so I have to use a wireless connection. You can't use wired connection for this kind of thing, and so yeah, I don't know the problem with it. Like maybe it's because I have like a digital copy of the game, but yeah, I don't have usually issues playing online, and I don't know how
Well,
you can get a wired connection out of the PSP unless you got a like a 1,000 or a
no,
3,000.
I think it was you need to go through the PS3, and the PS3 needed a wired connection, and then it could connect wirelessly to your PSP. I don't know, it was ridiculous, but I do want to get round to playing online. As for your talk of the flash grenade, I was just going to comment.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me. It's interesting, but I feel like almost if you've penetrated that enemy defense to get into the position to use that, if you take a fencer,
Yeah.
one swipe and what kind of range does the flash grenade have? Like what's the
Probably the
stat?
range as the same standard grenade, maybe a bit lower, but the
If it was
like
like a
area
heavy
effects.
water spread, that would be pretty good. But
Yeah, like I don't think the area, in terms of area effect, right? Area effects not too bad, not too bad. I think it's a bit bigger than a grenade. So yeah, but like you said, like you could probably use a fencer just to take out everybody, but the fencer's AP isn't really that great. So in terms of long distance, like when you go on long distance.
Well,
is is Tech's AP a lot bigger, or do you know the numbers? I can't
Yeah, it
remember.
is a lot bigger.
How much AP
Like,
is it for a tech? Let's say a special tech. Oh no, not special tech. A tech elite, for example. How much AP does it have? Like in numbers?
in terms of numbers, wow.
No, they usually
Like
describe it. They tell, like for example, commandos have 450 AP always, all commandos.
Which is
all
So
commanders, yeah.
really
I
good
think
for.
they'll have like a decent amount, like a commander. Not probably more so than I think like the fences are around 200 or 300. I think. Like,
Yeah,
correct
it
me if I'm wrong.
sounds about right.
yeah, I think the fencer elite has about 350 AP.
Alright. Well, yeah. I think in terms of tech, they have a bit more than commanders because they have to go around. Like, their primary job really is to like fortify like sandbags, take out mines, also plant mines if you can. But in terms of like in terms of movement, I think they have a decent line. They're a bit more than commanders. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. I think they're around like 500
Well,
or so. So it's not
I'd
too
say at
bad.
the moment, yeah, I'd say by the sound of it, to me, the stun bomb tech obviously haven't proven themselves in single player, but could have a use in versus. I was
Yeah.
going to go back to the musician classes because I don't have the DLC yet in VC2, and I knew in theory that there'd be good situations where you can use musicians, and Eximius, your video just proved what I thought in theory, that they are certainly a good addition. And
Absolutely. I mean, it's a lot more than, like I said, it's a lot more than just, buffing your
yeah,
defense, your attack, your personal, your anti-armor. It also increases shots, which in terms of, stats, you don't really get through in potentials. No one has a potential that increases the number of shots with your
yeah.
gun. And
The
also,
most crucial thing. Sorry, man, but yeah, also because you can buff multiple units at the same time. That's the big thing as well.
exactly, and another big thing is that there's also some classes, or for some specific characters, that don't have defense potentials or attack potentials. So you can use an Anthem Elite in place of those potentials, and that's when it really comes through.
Yeah, I mean you have to be facing tough enemies to make it worthwhile. But yeah, the DLC certainly looks full of tough enemies. So I'll leave
Oh
Yeah.
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Especially,
Yeah, go on, Eximius.
I was gonna say, especially the level 90, the level 90 plus missions that you see in the DLC.
I was just going to ask one other thing. Regarding VC3, there's a new enemy type, isn't there? I've seen that uses the V2 animation.
Yeah, it's actually a Gatling type unit that actually has quite a bit of HP. These units can go up to 8 to 900 HP, and these units don't use a lance, but they use a very very powerful Gatling arm. So
Gatling arm.
a Gatling arm, and it's the thing about them is that they're very very durable, but their accuracy is like very very shoddy. Like they almost never hit you, but when they do hit you, whether it be one or two shots, they do quite a bit of damage.
Wow, I did not know that.
Do they
That's
have that
crazy stuff.
long wind up at the beginning of their fire that the V2s had?
It's a
As a
little bit shorter because there would be an actual charge time with V2s, but with these guys, it's just basically a little bit slower than a shock trooper, but it's
okay.
a little it's close to it. But the main thing about these guys, I don't know what they're called exactly because it's in Japanese. I have no idea, but
Yeah.
they're essentially like V2s but without the beam, but with a really powerful Gatling that actually has quite a bit of range.
So during their own turn, they fire the Gatling. The Gatling is basically like a V2's interception Gatling.
Basically, they only have one shot, which is basically the Gatling shot.
Yeah.
They're not like V2s who can fire a beam on their turn, but intercept with beam Gatlings on the player
Okay.
turn. So yeah, they're the trump card about them is that they're very very durable. They can take a lot of damage.
Well, that's
Wow.
what heavy gunners are around for. That's
Yep,
good.
yep.
Mm,
Or even
Not
sniper
heavy gunners.
elites
Sorry,
pretty easily.
gunner elites. Sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully that's covered that question. I don't know. Could talk for hours on that one. But
Yeah, you can.
Actually, I do
Yeah.
want to say something about the character types. From particularly from VC2, VC1 to VC2. In VC1, when it came to character types or character design, it was fairly military attire. Everyone looked the same in terms of what they wore in battle. In VC2, there was a lot more miniskirts. which I'm guessing was a catering to fan service.
Yeah, and I think Riella in VC3 has kind of continued that tradition. It can't go any further now.
Yeah.
Can't get any shorter than that, I don't think.
Well, she
Well,
does.
let's hope that figure doesn't.
Yeah.
Because the skirt in a battlefield, yeah, I don't think that's a suitable attire for any type of military person. You're more likely to get shot. Yeah, like an easy
Well,
point of
when it
access.
comes to fan service, you got to suspend your disbeliefs, pretty much.
Well, one thing I will say, yeah, the uniforms in VC1 were great and how they went against those sort of anime tropes of the short skirt fan service. But one of the great things that I've noticed from VC3, the VC3 demo, is just how personalised every character model is in the game. Everyone's got different clothes and a different look, and I think in a way that makes VC3 visually superior to VC1.
Yes, each one has a personality of their own. Like, for example, there's this one character called Giulio Rosso, who's actually a chef. And if you look at him in battle, he's actually wearing a what do you call it? What are those things
Apron.
called again? Aprons, that's it, right. He's wearing an apron. He's wearing, like
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
bow tie that's made out of, like, a towel. He
Yeah.
looks like he came from a kitchen.
So okay, that means maybe it's taking steps away from realism. But how realistic was VC in the first place? I mean, it's quite a fantasy setting anyway, without the dragons and whatnot. It's still so. I think that's good that they're playing with.
A bit more
Character.
personality with these kind of characters. Every character doesn't have the same armor. It's like different for everybody. Like they use the attire of dark blue and red and black, but some characters even have yellow in their armor and stuff like that. I think it's
That's
great.
right.
I think it's great.
It's like
Yeah.
when Ryu and Ken went from being just head swaps to having their own character sprite. It's
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
good.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
So
so,
that's
so I mean, overall, do you guys think that it was an improvement throughout VC1 to VC3? Was it good, bad, questionable?
I
What are
think it
your
was
opinions?
good. I think it was good. They've gone through a lot of changes, and like, there's obviously some criticism for how VC2 has changed from VC1, even though a lot of it was good, I guess. Some people were just a little bit picky. But as it's progressed from VC3, I think some of the changes are great. Some of them may be a bit questionable at the time. But I think it's kind of they're still smoothing out the edges, but it's gotten to a good place right now, and yeah, can't wait to see like the next franchise of it. Hey, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I can't wait for the next franchise. I wonder what VC4 is going to be like.
well, you'd think on a home system. I mean, I love the PSP games, and I do think I mean, excluding VC2 story, I don't really want to talk about that.
I think we won't
Let's-
get into that.
Yeah,
Hey, we won't
I
get
think
into
you already
that.
know my
Do that.
opinion on that after you read my review.
Guys,
Yeah,
if you haven't, read Eximius review. We'll post it in the description. He basically goes through it's a pretty long review, guys, but trust me, when you look at it, you laugh and you realize, yeah, I understand what he's talking about. There is a significant difference on the floral storyline between VC1 and VC2. Obviously,
Oh,
we
yeah.
won't go into it right now,
We
But
could have
gameplay,
hours for it.
but
but
gameplay
yeah,
wise, they did a fine job.
Yes, that I would
absolutely.
definitely agree with.
But
2 thumbs up.
I couldn't say whether I could never say it's better because it's just the fact that they're small maps now makes it so different to the original. You can't really directly compare them like that. But it's just like a great game. They're great games in their own right, 2 and 3 on the PSP. And as you say, when it comes back to the home system, then we can see the real sequel to VC1 in the sense that it's not it's not been changed because of the hardware, even though they did a great job adapting it to the new hardware. But I mean, me and Eximius were talking about if it had an open world map structure, like a larger meta structure to the game.
Oh yeah, we were talking about the fact that if characters or designs in general, if there was like a basic overview open world map like you see in a lot of RPGs, where you would have a character basically walking around an open field, doing explorations, and you have possibilities of going into like unknown territory, and then you might discover a secret battle, and in that secret battle you'll have like a very special reward, maybe an accessory or a gun or
Yeah,
some kind of weapon.
yeah. you move across the world map in something like real time, and then the minute you encounter enemies in a battle, it's switched to the Blitz engine. In a way, similar to Jagged Alliance 2, a game I'm looking into, where it has those two different systems working together.
Yeah, I think.
But hey, this is highly speculative.
It's speculative, but the series is young. It has a lot of time to evolve. I'm pretty sure if they implement something like this, it would change the dynamic of the gameplay completely. I think.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
So we still have like 2 more questions to go. I forgot we had questions.
3.
Yeah, I think we just got 2 more. I think I see 3. Oh, it was a last minute question. I'll bring that up later on. But anyway, moving on to the next question. This should be the right one. Do you still promote sales of VC2? Even though Sega said VC3 localization depends on VC2 sales, but that's pretty much dead considering their recent statement that there's no chance for localization on PSP.
I don't understand this question. Why don't you own VC2? I don't understand.
Well,
that's what they're saying. Because obviously basically when PlayStation Portable came out and VC2 came out on it, and people Sega was saying, the low sales of VC2 on PlayStation Portable dictate what we're going to do for VC3, but since they were low, we weren't going to bring it over, and piracy reasons. And the recent statement saying we're basically not going to they're basically not going to bring the game to PlayStation Portable.
Oh yeah, no, I understand all that, but why doesn't this guy have VC2? You've got to have VC2, man.
Well, I mean,
that's actually a good question.
Of course, you've got to promote sale of VC2 because it's a great game. Go get it.
Yeah, pretty much. I agree with you on that part. But I'm guessing the question says that because VC3 localization was dependent on VC2 sales, and the fact that VC2 is pretty much dead on a dead platform, which is the PSP. Do you still support promote the sales of VC2? I'd say go get it anyway because, like you said, Chris, it's a great game. Just buy it.
You should have it by now, really. If you're listening to this, you should have it. I wouldn't say go out and buy 5 copies, but you need this. You should definitely get it, and it's not going to hurt. I mean, I don't know if Sega is still monitoring the sales, but
still get it, guys. Get it. Support the franchise. It's a good game. It's a good game. You get your money's worth.
I know it's unavoidable to compare VC2 to its predecessors because it's part of the same series. But, if you actually just see VC2 in its own right and look at the game for what it is, regardless of any kind of comparisons, it's a vastly superior game on the PSP. It's one of the best on the platform.
And get to the post-game. Just get beyond the story, get to the post-game, and it's a lot of fun. The story really did try my patience, I'll be honest. The story mode. I went from loving the game to hating it in an evening. Over and over, and but
it'll cause those mood swings.
It will cause that, guys. But if you can avoid that, right, guys? Don't worry from what you're getting out of it. And if you haven't already got the game, which I presume a lot of you do, but maybe some of you don't, there's actually a bundle sale right now for a digital copy with the DLC on bundle right now. If you're a PlayStation Plus player, you'll get it for cheaper. I think it's 13 US. Sorry?
$13, yeah.
And I don't know how it is for normal. How much is it for normal? Is it like 20?
Normally, I think it's around $24.95, and that's including the DLC, which is a great deal.
And you will have more Blitz engine battles there than you will ever have time to play fully. I mean, there's just so many. And there's multiple variations of deployments on each map.
The amount of missions they throw at you. I mean, my goodness, the post game is beyond belief.
Huge.
Like Sega really wants you to get your money's worth when you buy this game, and they weren't kidding. I poured over 320 hours in this game, and I still haven't finished all the missions.
Yeah.
I'm still clocking close to 400 hours, but it's just my dedication from when I first got it. I was actually going to make a statement, but then Eximius beat me to it, so I was like, yeah. We actually had
and the other question is, you can still knock a turn off your methods here and there if you go back through them. There's always improvements you can make and new levels of obsession you can reach.
Yeah, exactly, guys. It's a good mechanic, guys. It's a good game. Definitely check it out if you haven't already got it, guys. So yeah.
Absolutely check it out. Regardless of VC3 coming or not coming, play the game. You just gotta try it. Seriously.
Yeah. All right. And it will familiarize you with VC3's sort of interface.
Yeah,
going
pretty
from
much.
I remember when I first started, I'd be hitting the wrong buttons at the wrong time because I'm so used to VC1. But now I can go play VC1, play VC2, not have any problems. They're separate games, but you use the shoulder buttons to move the camera instead of the second stick, and press start to end your turn, and so on.
Yeah, you can adapt pretty easily, guys. It's like it's different, but actually very similar to PlayStation 3. But it gives you a chance to like adapt to your gameplay if they bring it out on PS Vita. So yeah, guys, definitely pick it up. So I think that's all that needs to be said. Next question then.
Yeah. So number 5, basic question: anime cutscenes or cel shaded cutscenes, like in VC1? Your thoughts?
It's an interesting one because when it comes to VC1 versus VC2, I would straight away say cel shaded cutscenes. And
Right.
Definitely, I support that. Second that. Sorry, I had to cut in. Someone had to.
You know, the canvas engine in its full glory on the PS3 is really something to behold, and having everything animated is tremendous. But I will say this: I saw one of the anime cutscenes from VC3 earlier today, and the intensity of the scene. I don't want to spoil anything. I think most people have probably seen the fight scene that I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
the intensity that one of the characters has during that battle with you couldn't have caught that with the canvas engine, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean the amount exactly. I understand what you mean. The with the anime scenes, there's a certain amount of fluid animation that goes on that can actually seamlessly put action scenes together with a lot of flair, with a lot of power. Like the fight scene you saw. Actually, I showed you 2 videos. One with
That's right, yeah.
the fight scene, and then the other one with the other fight scene.
That was cool as well. That fight scene blows me away. I mean, to compare it to VC1, you've got I could do
Valkryia
spoilers
versus
for VC1.
Alicia.
Yeah,
Best fight scene.
that's what you're going for. Yeah.
That fight scene and the Marmota versus Alicia, or Alicia versus the Marmota, even that's tremendous as well. But if you look at it, like Alicia is in that sort of amnesia state. She's sort of sleepy and out of it. And Salvaria's kind of
She's kind of used to it by now.
She's kind of shocked and fighting, but it doesn't reach the intensity of that VC3 fight scene. That really.
Yeah, that was quite the scene. I was actually very impressed with the amount of animation they did, and in fact, I was actually trying to point out that in terms of animation, in terms of fluidity of movement and frames, they made a huge leap from VC2 to VC3. It's beautiful to look at.
Yeah,
I definitely agree with that. Like me personally, right, guys? I'm a big cell shaded fan myself. Like when I saw it and I saw the comparison in anime cutscenes, I actually like myself. I watch anime and stuff like that, so I understand how it's appeal. But like I really love the way the cutscenes were presented in cell shaded form, even though it wasn't as fluid as VC3, right? It was still really good, especially like when you're firstly I forgot what episode it was, like when their first mission for Squad 7, where they waterproofed the tank and they just took it under the river and then you see it burst out of the river. Hey, I mean that was one of the best cutscenes ever. I just like very, very impressed the way they presented it. And then you got Alicia's and Salvaria's fight, and then the way they presented it was really, really well. Like really, like the whole game was completely cel shaded. Now I remember Eximius, you said something about the blooming effect, if I'm correct. Like
yes, the blooming effect when it came to what was it? It was one of the scenes with Salvaria where you basically see her powered up, and the amount of beautiful blue cobalt aura coming out of her body, it really enhanced the entire wow factor with this blooming effect. It's like blooming effect is like a type of enhancement of color. Like it really increases the contrast to a point where it's almost extremely vivid, and it like makes your eyes widen up with delight. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh gosh, I mean the one scene in this is VC1 you're talking about, right?
Yeah, VC1.
Yeah, the one scene that really for me is when Welkin stops Alicia from attacking the Marmota and confesses his love for her, and her Valkryia flame just bursts into like 1,000 fragments around them, and the camera rotates, and
it's a beautiful scene.
stuff.
Beautiful scene.
And on the whole, you know, when you think of things like that, and the opening movie of VC1, and I would have to give the edge to cell shaded on the whole. But for the fight scenes, I'd go with anime.
Yeah, if you want
Definitely,
like fast-paced anime fight scenes, I'd definitely go with anime. But when it comes to like dialogue scenes or very slow scenes that are like dialogue heavy, I would definitely take the cell shading. It fits it in that direction. And also, I think cell shading in general, it's a type of style that you would see in like illustration books. I think that's what they were going for, especially when you look at the VC1 gameplay. When you look through the chapters, it was basically a storybook, and that illustration reflects that. And I think they made a great choice with this.
Oh, it reminds me of the innovation Sega made with Jet Set Radio back on the Dreamcast. I saw that game running, and I was like, I've never seen 3D look like this. 3D graphics, polygons, to have that hand-drawn look. And in that case, it was a more sort of neon, wacky, sort of urban style or whatever. But with VC3, I haven't felt that since seeing Jet Set Radio. Looking at a game and just being wowed by what they've done with the visual language there. And it's not the same on PSP, but occasionally you'll look at a scene and be like, this isn't that far off. It's still an attractive game on the handhelds.
The thing about VC2, I think it's one of the more ambitious games to be on the PSP because to put that much content in it and to put that much depth into a handheld, it's amazing. I think it's very ambitious of them, and I think they did a great job on it.
Yeah, some of the stages look. I love the mountain snowy mountain stages. I think look incredible, and
they were great. Absolutely love those stages. So. And then the fact that you could use they use weather and terrain to affect like your abilities of the unit was really good. Like you had that in VC1, but they took it to another level in VC2 like with snow and stuff like that. I reckon that was really good. Yeah. So that's I think that wraps up that question. And
yeah, that's pretty much it.
So we've got one more question. This is our last question. I received actually at the last moment for in our email. So I'll just go through it. Basically it says if someone were to patch VC3 in English, even though the voice acting is still Japanese and you had the original game, would it be considered illegal to download that patch and then apply it to your game, like your copy of VC3 or not? What do you got? What are your thoughts on that?
And I know some people prefer the original dialogue, but subtitled. But I'd love to see it dubbed properly with the voice talent that Sega has used for the previous two games. VC2 had tremendous voice acting, even for some of the more irritable characters.
Yeah, we know what you're talking about.
Man.
But even that guy, to me, did a great job with what he was given. He is portraying the character really well, actually, and I feel like VC has always had tremendous Western voice talent, and it would be tremendous to see that continue.
My favorite voice in VC2 was Anisette. It's one of those quirky characters that I like. She was funny. She was adorable. I loved her.
I'm a star, not an athlete. I love that quote. I think that's really good.
Same here.
Yeah. Me personally, for all this, like, I actually want to ask you guys, obviously I don't have rubs with playing the patch of the game. Like, I still recommend you guys wait for a little bit. I don't have rust of like people downloading the patch, but in order to play the patch, guys, wouldn't you have to like modify the software on your PSP Go or your PlayStation Portable in order to like upload the patch, obviously on another system? And isn't that kind of like I know there's like fights about this, like whether like modification of software is all right. Can I ask your thoughts on that, guys? Like, obviously, it's big open ended.
Heavy one. I'm no expert on this stuff. I am neither lawyer nor software coder. This is difficult, but it would be. I don't know the technical side of it. I don't know, Eximius. I don't know if you're any more informed than me there.
Well, in terms of actually, PSP modding, I'm not exactly sure because I've actually never done it. I've never actually modded my PSP or actually, done anything of the sort. I know but there's a lot of ways that you have to, like install custom firmwares and things like that, and that kind of stuff I don't support. It's modding, it's hacking. It's not something that I'd want to present as something that's viable. It's just not right to me.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing going after this. Like, in order to upload the patch, obviously you would need modification of your PSP. But in a sense, by doing so, you're already I know it feels wrong for me, like in terms of hacking the software and stuff like that. I mean, obviously everybody has different views on this. Like, ever since what do you call it? PlayStation 3 got hacked, and then like see people like Extra Credit say like, yeah, you have the right to modify your software if you bought a PlayStation 3 for its Linux box, and then you find out Sony like took away that
Took away that
feature.
right.
And
Yeah.
yeah, took away that right. And I kind of, yeah, I understand that. But in terms of PlayStation Portable, it's like it's an open debate because how do you say, you're not so much modifying your software so it can do extended features which have been inhibited. From the modifications I've seen about PlayStation Portal, it's more so the fact so you can pirate games and get them for free and download them as ROM, and that's something I really don't support. Like from what I've seen, nobody's really used PlayStation like software that they've made themselves in order to enhance the game in some way. Like for games that have come now exclusively for Japan only, and then say we've made the software so you can modify it so you can have English subtitles. And yeah, I think the fact that like personally I myself I don't have a modded I only have a PSP Go, so I don't really want to risk the chance of modifying it to break it up. Like I really want to stay legit. And yeah, in terms of like modifying your PlayStation Portable, yeah, I'm not really a big supporter of that. Like but that's just my opinion again. Like
Well, when it comes to translation patches, I just want to make this clear. If you have to mod your PSP to do it, I wouldn't support it. I have no qualms with the translation guide where you read it off the internet. That's fine. But if you have to go into your PSP and like mod it, then that's something I don't support.
I mean, to run the VC3 demo, I downloaded it on the laptop and transferred it over, and that's about the the most adventurous thing I've done with my PSP beyond.
Well, it's a demo. It's nothing
a
illegal.
disc in. Yeah, no, that was fine. But I mean, if it was just a case of getting a file off the net onto your laptop, copying it to your PSP, and putting it in your VC3 file on your PSP, then that would be very tempting to ignore that if it wasn't being officially localized. But if you had to mess around with the innards of your operating system or whatever the hell, then I would certainly be too scared to do that.
Yeah, there's always a fear of breaking your system, and that's never a good thing. But in general, I don't like the idea of modding my PSP.
And the ethics.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole case about the PS3 hackers saying, well, you bought your PS3, it's yours to do what you want with. It does kind of ignore the entire area of intellectual copyright, So, because it isn't, you may have bought your PS3, but you didn't create that hardware and software. You should respect that, because I've tried learning computer programming, and it's not easy. You should have an absolute ton of respect for the people who provide these systems for you.
Yeah, absolute agreement with that. Yep.
Yeah.
well, yep, that's the last question on the board. Hey, well that's just our thoughts on it anyway.
Yeah. You're probably tired as hell right now, JR.
Actually, no, I'm actually pretty hyped up right now because when like people think this right, but when stuff concerning the GLF pops up, you'll see me popping up pretty late pretty early in the morning and just like for some reason when I can't sleep, I just wake up after I'll just turn on my laptop and just check out what's happening in the GLF, and then people are either spamming me Twitter stuff like asking questions, or people are getting, and I'll be on for an hour, and then my dad's coming out. It's like, what are you doing here so late? I'm like, in order to like budge the thing, I'm like, I'm doing constructive homework, Dad. It's all right, Dad. But how do you say?
Yeah.
If I'm active, I'm probably will be tired after this interview ends. I don't feel tired right now. I'm actually pretty hyped up. about this kind of things. Probably it's because it's for you guys. Like I enjoy having conversations with Chris and then Eximius. It's like it's a party, guys. It's a party.
Absolute party. Just there's no
Yeah,
booze.
yeah. I'll be back back in the future if you have me. Yeah, definitely. I enjoy
Oh,
doing
we'll
this.
definitely ask you to come back. Hey,
Absolutely.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yes.
I mean, my sleep pattern's been insane lately. Just the biggest problem for me is the internet is just more entertaining than dreams. It's like 1 a.m. I
I actually
put my
get that. I
computer on,
understand that quite a bit.
and then you don't forget it automatically in the morning, which I used to be way into dreams. Don't even start there with lucid dreaming and that. But it just doesn't compete with your PSP and your laptop. And if I turn those on at like 1 a.m., it's goodbye the night's sleep. So if you ever need me up at 4 or 5 a.m. to do one of these, then I should be able to do that. But I think
we
this,
don't want to
this
we don't
works
want to
well.
stress yourself out. That's all.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've already got like enough time frames as like a bad time frames as it is. I actually have to. I've got another, like I said, I've got another interview coming up, right? At least I don't have to wake up at like 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning. I can get some sleep. But yeah, like I don't really mind getting up like around this just to have a really good conversation. I mean, it's really
it's
enjoyable.
tremendous. Like I say, the big point about this is just the incredible global spread of the GLF. I mean, Liam is in the Middle East when he did his video. At least,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
assume he lives over there, and it's just tremendous. I'd like to see some more videos coming out of Japan. Actually, I assume there are more Japanese players of VC.
Oh,
I
I'm,
can't
I'm
see.
pretty sure there are. It's just we don't see them for some reason. I haven't seen any actually.
Maybe because
Yeah.
they already got the game.
Maybe. Yeah.
Well,
They're already
any
satisfied.
any players out there who take the games somewhat seriously, it'd be great for more folks to get recording those runs because they're always interesting to look at and debate. I mean, who am I? I'm just a guy who does videos. You can be.
Speaking of which, make sure you do that VC3 speedrun. I look forward to that.
Yeah, I have that planned. Then I was thinking about doing a VC2 map blind instead of the massively over-rehearsed style I normally do. I was thinking of just loading up the last of the 3-star missions because I still haven't finished all of the regular 3-star missions. I get so bogged down in coming up with these, close to perfect runs as I can. I was thinking of
Yeah.
just tearing that all up and just doing a run straight off first time blind.
Yeah. Why not?
And
Yeah, why not?
and
That
then
would be actually very interesting. Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
yeah,
And
yeah,
also, you also have a lot of material with VC1. There's still ED's detachment mission. There's ED's challenges. There's a lot of missions that are
I
left
have
up.
I have a level 1 Jan's challenge playthrough that's really one
That's
of my
gonna be killer.
favorite.
I can't wait to see that. That one I'm really interested in. Facing like
Yeah,
13 tanks with like level 1 lancers. That's
it
gonna be funny.
really you really have to play it defensive, and it really makes the game. It's almost unrecognizable from
From
how you
traditional
typically play.
tactics.
Yeah, from normal basic tactics, you literally are cowering at some points. But you know,
I presume you
but that
would
was
be.
fun.
Well, especially when you have 13 tanks like unloading every single shell on your camp. That's
And when I
that's gotta be
played it,
nerve wracking.
and when I played it, because I was lacking a save file in the story at the correct point, and I'd forgotten to visit the Princess Cordelia. I didn't have the most powerful lances either. So if I record it, I'll do it level 1 squad minus the top tier lance weapons as well, because it is possible. And yeah, it just
Well,
makes
we
it.
look forward to it. Hey, we really look forward to the way you're doing that.
Absolutely.
I know I am. Hey.
Yeah, we both of us are. We're big fans of the videos, and everyone who's
Thanks,
listening to
guys.
this podcast should be big fans of Valchronifications. Take a look at that channel. The link's in the description. Seriously, take a look.
Yeah. Awesome stuff,
Val-
guys. You know,
Valchronification at YouTube. Yeah, thanks guys for the plugs. And
No problem, man.
we always enjoy your commentary. We always get a good laugh out of it. I specifically recommend it, guys. Watch Chris's run on Azure the secret operation for the DLC, Azure
oh,
Witch.
Oh, Azure
We
Witch.
hey,
Yeah,
absolutely
that was
love
funny.
that
well,
commentary.
And the first video was great.
I
Best
tell you what
reaction.
though, man, that run is down. That was an incredible. I tell you, I've never. Let me just explain for anyone who isn't familiar. But Jr. here, you challenged me to do 2 turns, Eximius, you recorded 2 turns. I recorded 2 turns and was very close to doing 1 turn. And I just thought, there's no way you can do it in 1 turn. And then JR discovered you could do it in 1 turn. I won't spoil exactly how you do that, but it's a bit strange.
The one turn
to say
wonder,
the least.
guys. Let's just say I had a lot of time to
Yeah.
experiment, and we won't spoil like what stopped Chris from making the
Should we
one
spoil
turn
it?
wonder. But yeah, you have to
Spoil
look
it?
at it for yourself. Yeah, we won't spoil it. We won't spoil it, of course.
Well,
Like, yeah.
okay, but it's really it leads to one shot in particular that is just the most ridiculous shot you will ever see in VC ever. You
Apparently,
look at where
I
you're at.
recorded it.
apparently Basad didn't actually know it either. So guys,
Yeah.
if you don't
Exactly.
know, Basad's actually really well known for his videos. He does the most ridiculous runs. Goes for perfect runs, sometimes with no damage. Yeah, and apparently, like when I first did the one turn wonder for this operation, Basad didn't actually know this tactic as well until I expressed it, and then I was like, yeah, one up from Basad. I was like, yeah, that's awesome stuff. So guys, yeah,
First time I've ever seen him stumped. He just didn't. He was like, yeah, I found that surprising. He just did not know. And this guy is the hands down the best player I've ever seen at the game. But then you see the story continues because JR, to be fair, you were I believe you were the first person in the world to finish that map in 1 turn. I actually think, unless there's Japanese videos, I don't think
no one's
anyone.
actually ever posted a one turn. I've seen Japanese post 3 turns, and I've seen
Nobody even
possibly
said
some 2 turns.
it's
I've never seen a one turn before. Like
I mean,
I've done it.
2 turns is really comfortable, and that
Yeah.
was the thing. After I found out what the bug was, I was like, well, if that's the case, then what can I do to take this further? And I was like, well, I'll try and do it no damage taken, because if the bug makes Selvaria that powerful, then it's got to be on the cards to do it no damage taken, and
Yeah.
it was all there pretty much. But I now like to think of it as my Selvaria broken nail run. You know what I mean?
I
Because
know. Yeah. It
it
was
was
very.
so
Yeah.
close.
I felt so. I felt for you. Hey, it was so close, man.
Yeah.
Like just a little bit off. It's like a nick off the nail off it, and then it was like, "Yep, that's not perfect." And
But
then you tried to redo it, like
I,
reload it, and you're like,
I
"No, screw
reloaded
it."
for hours, and the beauty of the game is that the Bassard then stepped in and did his version, having known about the bug that you discovered, and he just made a brilliant. If you go to Daily Motion video hosting site and search for _Bussard, like anagram of absurd, if you find him there, he did a version of Azure Witch as well, which just brilliant play at the beginning, where he uses a shock trooper instead of a scout to exploit an intercept kill and a grenade throw, which exploits the extra range shock troopers apparently have when they throw grenades. I didn't even know that, but it just gets this brilliant shot. And in the end of it all, it translates not into anything tangible. Well, I mean, it saves the CP, and that's tangible. But the end result is that the luck factor for his run was reduced just slightly on mine, to the point where it was reasonable for him to actually do it, no damage taken, without going clinically insane.
Yeah, he was.
If I had actually persisted in trying to reload until I didn't take any damage, I think I would have risked insanity. But I only took 4 hit points. But yeah, the whole thing just it was a lot of fun. But yeah, check out all of those videos. So you need to go to Eximius' YouTube, my YouTube, and a Basada Daily Motion. And JR, are you still going to do your video? I was thinking maybe you could do.
Yeah. I'm
Shots
actually looking
to
right
size that
now.
up.
Like, I've been looking to like everybody's actually been like I've been getting emails. You guys aren't the only one. They're saying, "Well, JR, since you're the first guy to do like the one turn wonder, we actually really want to see how you did it." And then I was like, "Well, I really need to get some software right now. Obviously, I am eventually gonna do it. I'm finding actually looking up software to record high definition PlayStation 3 videos directly from the PlayStation like to TV to like my laptop. If you guys have any recommendations for me, like anything at all, I really like to hear what you guys have to offer because I really want to record this high quality stuff for you guys and show you how I did it like with my awesome like voice casting. Of course, not as good as Chris, but yeah, it will be just exciting.
No, go for
Hopefully,
it,
yeah. Apparently, because you're looking at if you look at Eximius' run of the 110, like he was the first one to post actual video for it, and then Chris did it, right? My variation of one of the shots, right, actually was actually completely different and was actually much more difficult. But when you pull it off, there's this like good sense of satisfaction. So I'll definitely, yeah, I definitely plan to post a video up, like definitely. When my things get sorted, like right now I'm kind of a bit busy right now, like with university guys. But yeah, I make the sacrifices to get like stuff for you guys done. So yeah, the video will be done hopefully soon enough, guys. So yeah, stay tuned.
Well, yeah, that's about it. Is there anything else you want to add? Because we're actually kind of crossing the time frame right now.
Yeah, no, I think we should probably leave it there. I think Squad 7 should move out to bed. I'm going to hit the sack soon. So, yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Great.
Yeah.
Fun. Well, we'd love to have you again. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
Yeah, no
it
problems.
was
I'm
fun.
glad to be back, yeah. Yeah,
It was a
nice one, guys.
blast, guys. And yeah, I think I should head off to bed now. It's actually 5:16 in the morning. I've got no sleep, guys. I'm no sleep right now, and I have to go up and wake up in the morning. Well, it's already the morning, but I have to wake up in another 3 hours. I have to go to another interview regarding the GLF, and then I've got to go and do some more stuff, guys, for you. But that's just yeah, I have to get some sleep about this. So I'm actually risking the
Good
point of
stuff.
insanity myself, and I didn't have to do many runs on a no damage turn.
He's not
So
done
yeah,
yet, that's for sure. Keep going, man. You're doing great stuff. Doing great stuff.
yeah.
Good luck with the interview. Good luck, man.
Oh yeah.
No,
Well,
you'll do
thanks for
fine.
that.
You'll do fine. Don't worry. All right. Well, I guess we're signing out now.
Yeah, I was saying
Yep.
that. Well, this is JR, and yep.
This is Eximius and Chris.
This is Chris, a.k.a. Lebowski, Valchronification. And, yeah, goodbye. Good night. Good
All
All
right.
right, guys. Take care.
Take care,
Peace.
and thanks for listening, guys. Take care.
All right.